comment about the brakes, and it wasn't good. So he's still not happy with those brakes. He talked vibration earlier. This time he was less specific. He just doesn't like them.
Well, they don't look like they're that. The rotors doesn't appear to be red or something like that. Maybe he doesn't like the balance, front to rear balance.
He's still doing okay. I mean, he's in second place.
Well, when you get past, you got to come up with something.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I forget these things from the driver's
We have a
perspective.
list of things that all of a sudden, oh, you know what, all of a sudden, let me think here. My brakes aren't too good. I've got a vibration.
Jeff Gordon been talking a lot about brakes, and brakes so very important here on the short track in Richmond as we go to our Home Depot virtual garage.
Let's take a look, BP, at the Home Depot virtual garage here. You know, here at the short tracks, you got to get all the cooling you can to the brakes. You see these hoses? They cut holes in the front of the car. It pulls the air up these hoses, and it cools off the rotors and the caliper. The cooler the rotor and the calipers are, the better your car slows down. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about keeping those brakes cool. Real important here on a short track because you really abuse them.
And one thing about those brakes, once they go away,
yeah, they don't come back. So you have to start pumping them. And if you have to start pumping them, then that makes a lot of work for the driver.
Because if those brakes, rotors get too hot, then the fluid starts to boil. And once you get air in the line, then you lose your brakes.
Yeah, the pedal actually, it feels like it fades. When you hit the pedal, instead of the pedal being hard, it keeps going and going and going, and not a good feeling.
Something going on with Mark Martin, Bill?
Just a second ago on the radio, you guys get ready, get ready. That's Mark to his crew. They may have to pit. Mark says the right front tire is gone. Last pitted on lap 196, so by Allen math, that's what, 54 laps ago.
Wow. Now, he didn't mention a flat tire. He's talking about the tire being worn out.
God.
Wow.
Well, this 12 car, I'm telling you what, last 20, 30 laps, he's been smoking, man. He's been flying.
And the other guy, we talked about Jimmy Spencer struggling a little bit, but it seemed like the farther we've gone on this set of tires, all of a sudden Spencer's cars come back to him. On that?
No changes on that last stop, Alan. What's come back to Spencer? His focus and rhythm. A lot of debate under that last caution about what took place in the pit box. It took Jimmy a few laps to regain that focus and regain that momentum. He is slowly moving up. Consistently, his lap times are mirroring the leaders or even faster, Wally. But how tough is it to regain that rhythm and regain that focus when something bad happens, especially on pit road?
Well, if he wasn't at driver intros, he would have seen Wally's World, and I would have talked about the focus part. But yeah, it is.
Whoa.
And there he goes again. He got up there. You know what? You're always focused, but the thing is, I think what happens is when you have a good race car, you come in the pits, and there's a screw up in the pits, you have to get that out of your mind. And he lost a lot of spots. He's got a good race car, but you know, you really just need to put that behind the BP and go.
Well, you have to somehow, some way, but the adrenaline is flowing so much in these drivers. When something like just a moment ago when Ryan Newman came up and almost pinched Jimmy Spencer on the wall, you just explode. I mean, the adrenaline is so strong, and something happens in the pits, you explode. And it does take some time for all that to calm back down and say, okay, the job is to get this car around the racetrack as fast as I possibly can.
But sometimes when something like that happens, you just displayed when your adrenaline's pumping, you start overdriving the car because you want to get back to that guy to give him a little bit of a payback. So it's got to be a balance.
Here's a fast car. 19 of Jeremy Mayfield, Bill.
And the longer they run under green, the faster he gets. The car starting to get just a little tight in the center. Last time they just made an air pressure adjustment, got trapped in some traffic, worked through it, and marching forward. Jeremy Mayfield in the 19 looking for his first top 5 of the year. Marty? Bill, just seconds ago, Jeff Burton came on the radio with a lot of cars are trying to get around Burton. Said, I'm tired, I'm loose, I don't know what I am. What's happening? He goes into turn 1. There's always been bumps in turn 1, but now their car is running so soft that his car is hitting those bumps harder than it ever had, just throwing his car way off. The car is very tight for Jeff Burton, and now there's a spin on the track.
Jamie McMurray spun right in front of Jeff Gordon. He and Dale Jarrett bounced off each other, and McMurray went around right in front of the 24, and Jeff got through.
And you know what? That 42 car was high in 1 and 2, and I bet you he had a bunch of those marbles and stuff on his tires.
Ernie Sadler got a piece of it also.
That's too bad.
A lot of cars sliding up there in 1 and 2. I think if you get out of the groove a little bit, it just really sucks you up to the wall.
All right, going to see everybody on pit road, and these could be the last stops of the night. 132 laps to go. Pace car gathering up the field. Let's check it out.
Yep.
In fact, Dale Jarrett in the 88 car is the driver that got on the inside and banged into the 42 car, and Jeff Gordon somehow, some way drives through that smoke and misses the wall and the 42 car.
Look at all those guys
the 42 car had it gathered up after the 88 car got into him.
See what Matt Kenseth might have seen on board his car.
Double, got one spinning the front stretch back and down, right in the middle. He's right in the middle. Keep coming here, keep coming, keep coming.
Pit stops, Dave.
Jeff Gordon's car now loose up off the corner. A little wedge adjustment to fix that, Marty.
Dave, the most important guy on the stop for championship leader Matt Kenseth could be Benji Grubbs, the gas man. Right on the edge of their fuel window, 4 tires, no changes, Bill. No changes for Dale Earnhardt Jr. looking for a fast stop so we can get back out with the lead, Matt.
No adjustment for the 12 car, Ryan Newman. He's just going to work his way around the 01 who pitted a little bit longer in his box. It's going to be a race up. Who's going to win it, Alan?
Oh, it's close. I'm going to give that one to the 24, but the 12, the 29 picking up some ground on that stop, and the 8 losing.
And it is the 24 car, and then the 12.
There's Harvick. Where's Junior? Still to come. So Junior is not indestructible here tonight.
And the wall, caution's out, caution's out.